happening in terms of biological diversity, profitability, and to see it from a practical standpoint where they were actually applying the ecology that we were showing was really the basis of regenerative agriculture. Seeing that in practice, it was just like, okay, all of the pieces of the puzzle are just falling into place here, and this is certainly the direction that we need to be following.
That was Jonathan Lundgren. Dr. Lundgren is an agroecologist, founder and CEO for Blue Dasher Farm, and he was also a top scientist with USDA ARS for 11 years until stepping down to start his own regenerative farming operation.
We're focused on regenerative agriculture, doing both the science and practice of regenerative farming and trying to foster that movement in the United States. So I worked in conventional agriculture for many, many years, and tried to keep that broken system running, And it just became clear to me that we really needed a change, both in terms of how science was being conducted as well as how farming was being conducted. So the farmers themselves showed me that we could be producing food in the absence of agrochemicals, and I was like, boy, everything that I've been taught showed that can't happen. So I came in as a little bit of a skeptic, a hopeful skeptic, but a skeptic nonetheless, and it became very clear that there was something going on with these farmers that defied traditional explanations. And the more that I dug into it, the more that I realized that this was a really viable future for food production. And so I tried to change the system to reflect that from within, and that didn't go so well, and so I quit in 2016 and decided, we're going to have to try this a different approach. We're going to have to try to do sort of grassroots science that you don't see very often. This isn't an economic decision. This is a social decision that we're trying to drive behavior change into this sector of society. Well, the future of our planet depends on us using our food system appropriately. So we can't solve these planetary scale problems that the planet is currently facing without using our food system.
Intensive agriculture, deforestation, grasslands, wetlands, and harvesting compost collectively contribute to about 1/3 of human greenhouse gas emissions, specifically 40% of methane, the United Nations Panel on Climate Change found. Intensive agriculture, specifically monocultures, have been proven to generate the greatest amount of CO2 emissions in the atmosphere. The quantity is similar to the total CO2 emitted by all forms of transportation. Ashley L., PhD and professor at the Texas Tech Department of Plant and Soil Science, and Dr. Jonathan Lundgren agree that sustainable agriculture is the answer for future farming practices.
Agriculture, as it's become more industrial, as we have equipment, we put in a lot of fertilizer, pesticides, it's become more and more, the land is super dependent on us doing something to it every year, to break up the soil, to break up the weeds, to break up the compaction. But the more we can mimic going back to like a natural ecosystem or, a wildlife type of example, the closer we can get to, promoting healthy soils, but also trying to maintain production. And so I'd say that's kind of the future of crop production right now. Even farming can get to that point where you can get soil so exhausted that it's not useful. So sustainability really looks at, okay, let's go the opposite of that. Let's go not just to keep soil at status quo for farming in West Texas. Let's go to where it was before we started farming it, back to the grassland days where it's high in organic matter. It's always being covered. And that will actually equal to the highest production that you could have in a farm. with the least amount of inputs. Inputs being fertilizer, water, anything else that you have to, personally manage and add. So sustainability, you can look up all different types of farming, what's the best way to farm, but they all zero in on this, kind of sustainable word in the sense that they're trying to go back to mimicking the ecosystem as close as possible.
Both scientists agree that the future of our planet depends on us using our food system appropriately, which means saying bye to industrial agriculture. Dr. Lundgren said, "We cannot solve these planetary scale problems that we're facing without using our food system correctly. With 34% of land surface of our planet devoted to our food system, that makes it the largest biome on Earth, and it touches just about every other habitat out there."